You know, we're always told that justice is the noble goal and vengeance is, well, something primitive. But what if that clear line we always draw between them is actually a myth? Today, we're diving into the hidden, emotional connection that ties them together.
We've all heard this line, right? In a movie, a TV show, a courtroom drama, it sets up this really clear distinction. Justice is the high road, and vengeance is this raw, ugly impulse that we're supposed to rise above. And that's pretty much the accepted starting point for how we think about the law.
And this is the standard playbook we're all taught. On one side, you've got justice. It's supposed to be impersonal, cool-headed, totally dispassionate, and applied equally to everyone under the law. But then you have its chaotic twin, vengeance. It's deeply personal, it's fueled by hot-blooded passion, and it plays by its own rules. One is civilized, the other is wild. Okay, but what if that clean separation is just wrong? What if, to really understand what justice is, we have to look directly at the very thing we try so hard to push away? What if we have to look at vengeance? So, let's do that. Let's start by taking a closer look at vengeance itself. I think we tend to just write it off as blind rage, but if you look closer, you start to see that there's actually a powerful and kind of intuitive logic driving the whole thing.
At the absolute core of vengeance is this idea of getting even. Now, this isn't just about hurting someone back. The key idea here is measured reciprocity. It's this deep, powerful desire to restore a sense of balance that got thrown completely out of whack. It's a profoundly human instinct to want to make things right again.
See, vengeance is not the cold math of an impartial judge. No way. It is intensely personal. It comes from a feeling of loss, this sense that a debt has been created and that debt has to be repaid. It's always from the perspective of the person who was wronged, never from some neutral observer looking in from the outside. So if vengeance is such a powerful and personal drive, what happens when a whole society tries to, formalize it? Well, that's exactly where our justice system comes into play.
And this right here is the crucial connection. Our modern justice system didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It grew out of these very basic, very human, vengeful motivations. You could say it's an attempt to manage that shadow, to take the raw, powerful energy of vengeance and actually channel it into something productive.
And of course, there are some really good reasons we don't just let raw vengeance run the show. I mean, left unchecked, it just spirals. It leads to these endless cycles of retaliation, vendettas. The response is often way out of proportion, and innocent people can easily get caught in the crossfire. It's a fire that can just burn everything down. So this is how society tries to refine that fire. We build a system, we call it justice, that takes that individual desire for payback and gives it a formal structure. We introduce rules, we agree on common standards for everyone, and we create procedures designed to contain the violence. The system doesn't get rid of the vengeful impulse, it manages it. Now, what's really fascinating is that this same emotional logic doesn't just apply to punishment. It's also the engine that powers our ideas about fairness and, how stuff should be distributed in society. Just think for a second about what actually makes you feel that something is unfair. Is it a spreadsheet packed with economic data? Probably not. For most of us, cold, hard statistics just don't trigger a strong emotional reaction. But a single, powerful story, a photograph of one suffering child, that can move millions of people to action. Our sense of justice isn't sparked by abstract data, it's sparked by real, personal emotions like sympathy and compassion. And it's not just the nice emotions either. Our demand for fairness is this complex cocktail of feelings. Sure, it can be driven by sympathy for other people, but it can also be driven by envy of what someone else has, or resentment that we didn't get what we feel we deserved. These are all deeply personal, reactive emotions, just like vengeance. I mean, we all make arguments like this, right? We claim we're entitled to something, a raise, a right, whatever, and we frame it like it's some logical principle. But if you dig down, the argument is deeply personal and emotional. It's rooted in our own sense of who we are and what we think we've earned. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. What does this hidden connection between justice and our deepest emotions actually mean for how we should think about fairness? It means that the ideal we have of a purely cold, logical, rational justice system, it's just incomplete. We often treat our emotions like they're a flaw in the system, a contamination. But what if they aren't a flaw at all? What if they are the very foundation the whole thing is built on? And really, this is the core takeaway. The passion, the caring, that personal sense of what's right and wrong, these are the very things that give justice its meaning and its power.
Without that emotional anchor, all our big, grand theories of justice are just empty calculations. They're just a sterile numbers game.
So this leaves us with a final, pretty challenging thought. If our sense of justice is built on this personal, passionate, and kind of messy foundation of human emotion, can it ever be truly objective? It's a question that really gets at the beautiful and difficult complexity at the very heart of fairness itself.